In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to make a spouted batter bowl with a snug little handle, and by snug I mean it's close to the pot. So this is a hunk of clay. I think it's about 3.5 pounds probably. I am opening it just like I would show my students how to open a cylinder. I'm rounding the bottom on the inside, and I throw it as a cylinder to begin with, compressing the rim, and then I shape it after it's thrown. I'm getting the excess slip out of there. And again, I compress the rim a little bit. Now I'm kind of indicating where I want to put the spout, and here I'm just gently squeezing and pulling upward. That action of squeezing it and kind of stretching it upward will thin the spout, and then here I'm just trying to delineate the edges a little bit more and making sure it's round because sometimes it gets thrown off. I'm going to trim off a little of the excess at the base, wire it, and then I will set it aside to become leather hard. Oh, and my students, write your initials on the bat so it's identified. Now, trimming one of these has some challenges because the spout sticks up above the level of the rim. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to take, it's just a little towel, I'm trying to build up the layers to make sure that the base is flat. So once I get it to the point where it's flat, then I can begin trimming. And just like trimming anything, lock your hands together, and I start with the exterior by going straight down from the bottom, and then I trim away a nice profile. Remember that you always want to trim going straight down from the bottom, because when you go to trim the interior of the foot, then you'll have a parallel foot. So going straight down when you make both cuts is helpful. I'm just trying to take off some of the excess weight that's on the sides and the bottom of this. And then I'm kind of rounding the corners of the foot or the edge of the foot there, and then I compress it. The reason I round it is it does make it a little bit smoother when it goes on a counter. Now, for my students, the stoneware that we have has grog, so I do recommend that you rib the grog down, because the grog will produce kind of a cut surface if you don't. Now that it's trimmed, I'm ready to put the handle on it. Now, you could do a handle where it protrudes off the back, kind of like a mug, but because it takes up a little more cabinet space, I'm going to do one where it's like a little ledge where my fingers can grip underneath it. I like it because it's easier to store. So I'm going to start with a nice even coil, and then I'm going to flatten one side, and I'm just kind of holding it up and comparing the length. Now I'm stretching it to thin it a little bit more, and then I've decided to trim away a little bit extra. I'm going to kind of round those ends, figure out exactly where I want it. So I'm placing it beneath the edge of the rim because I want my fingertips to be able to hook underneath it. Now I'm going to mark where it goes and make sure that you're marking directly opposite of the spout. You don't want to get this skewed and off center. And then once it's marked, I'm going to aggressively score and slip, and I'm just using water, but you could use prepared slip if you want. And then of course I'm scoring the edge of the handle and then the little ends where I'm going to push them down, and I will slip that as well. And I'm just scoring it one more time and slipping one more time. I like to be kind of aggressive about that attachment. So the scored areas will be together, and then I kind of bend down the end of the handle. Sorry, my hand was in the way there, but there we go. I'm getting some of the debris off there. All right, so now that the handle is on there, I am cleaning it with a stiff brush. I use some cheap stiff brushes for clay brushes in my classroom. I get rid of tool marks, score marks, Make sure that everything looks smooth, consistent, and even. Where I made the spout, sometimes I have some tool marks or finger marks, and I like to just clean those up a little bit. I'm stamping, and then, of course, I am signing. And that is making a batter bowl with a pouring spout and a snug little handle. Hopefully you've enjoyed that and can pick up some tips. Good luck.